Hello, everyone. All right, so this is for moms. Moms, I'm speaking to you because we are here. We are a week back into school, and if you are like me, then you are thrilled that we're getting back into routines, but at the same time, it feels a little crazy, and your kids are a little tired and they're a little cranky, and we're kind of coming down off of the holiday rush, and then all of a sudden everyone's worried about getting sick. So what I wanted to do is I wanted to talk to you guys about what we do in our family. And yes, I'm going to talk about oils because I firmly believe in them. I think that they are a really great place to get started, and then you build from there. So if you have been my friend at all for the last 5 years, we're talking Facebook friends, which means we're real life friends too. But if you and I have connected sometime in the last 5 years, you know that I'm really, really passionate about natural living. And it started because we had problems with David's skin when he was 6 months old. And we had a friend reach out, say, hey, have you tried lavender essential oil? And I said, lavender? That's really cute, but no thanks. No, I didn't say that to her face. I totally said it behind her back. Sorry, Angela, if you're watching this. Yes, I was like, and then I was like, no way. But over the next 3 months, I asked her questions, not just about lavender, but okay, so this is going on in our family. What oil would you suggest? Now, I was kind of saying it like that in my head. I was being more polite in person or to her face. So for 3 months, she was giving me suggestions and advice. And finally, I decided, okay, you know what? Everything that I have, there's a question. She has an oil suggestion. Maybe I should just try these oils. I was also doing my side research. I was figuring out, is Young Living, because that's what she was promoting, is that really all that she's saying that it is? And everything that I was finding was saying that that was true. I really love the fact that Young Living has the farms that we can visit. I have since been to 4 of the Young Living farms, and in December, when Tim and I go down to Ecuador for our service trip, we'll get to visit farm number 5 for us, which is so exciting. And so anyway, this is how this all started. Yes, I'm going to talk about oils. I'm going to talk about natural options. I'm going to talk about things you can buy and things that you might have around. So here we go. First thing is about keeping harmony. So my kids go to school, and they're twins, but they go to different schools because they have different needs. So what happens is that at the end of the day, they come home, we pick them up, and they're tired. They're tired because they're 6 years old, and they're tired because they have had a lot going on in their days. So they get really cranky. So one of the very first things that we do when they get in the car, if I don't have the diffuser going, I at least make sure they get some sort of oils on them. So after experimenting, we have currently found, where is this one? There it is. The one that works for our kids is Peace and Calming, and I call this the witching hour oil, because that witching hour that we normally think of with babies, which is that afternoon period in between, it was afternoon nap, so it's like that 3:30 to 5 o'clock, right before they're supposed to eat. They get really cranky and grouchy, and they get on each other. Peace and Calming is what we found to really, I love the smell of this one. I'm going to actually use it right now. We found that Peace and Calming has really been the one that has helped just keep everyone happy. If someone's in the middle of a tantrum, it can help get them out of it if we have them put it in their hands and smell their hands and kind of trying to identify what was going wrong, what made them angry or upset or mad at the other kid or mad at me. That can help get them out of it, but we like to use it preemptively. And so just having Peace and Calming, having them breathe it, smell it, it goes to the brain that controls fight, flight, freeze. That's the limbic system. So it goes to the brain and basically triggers so that they don't have this flight, fight, freeze go off. It just calms everything down. And so then they can just be their cute little adorable selves. Tired, but not cranky. So that's our witching oil. That's what works for us. Some people really like lavender. Some people like frankincense. Some people like stress away for that. Some people like valor. We like peace and calming for that. So that's my oil for keeping harmony in the afternoons. So important. And then on the weekends, when the kids are not used to being with each other all day, they get on each other again. So guess what? We pull it back out again, and it goes on all the kids. The two kids. Okay, so that's the harmony piece of it. Then there's the staying healthy. Okay, so again, we want to stay ahead of the game when it comes to staying healthy. And so there are several things that we do. We have our kids avoid as much sugar as we can. Now, guess what? They eat a lot of fruit. They're going to get natural sugars in that. But we try not to have them have excess sweets. Do you know how we do it? We just say no. We just say, hey, you know what? You want that candy? I'm so sorry, not today. But for dessert, we can cut up some of the whatever fruit, or do you want to pick out some berries from the fridge and we can have that? Yes, they might be disappointed that they don't get the sweets, but guess what? They're going to survive and it's okay. Also, one of the changes that we made a long time ago, this was for their brains. This was not necessarily for overall health and wellness, but we cut out anything with artificial colors. Specifically, it was for David. Now we've done it for the whole family because Tim and I notice a difference. If we have something with dyes in it, we actually notice, oh gosh, I just feel off. Not that like our throats close up or anything, but we just feel off. So guess what? We're not going to subject our bodies to that, and we're not going to subject our kids' bodies to that. And then there's a lot of other studies and research that these dyes, not just red dye, but all of the dyes lead to long-term health issues. So we're just not going to introduce that to our kids. It's not worth it. And guess what? Our kids are fine without M&Ms. They really are. If you really love M&Ms, go to Trader Joe's, and anything with the Trader Joe's logo that is a candy-like thing is going to be made with natural coloring. It's so cool how that works. So just know there are options. If you love M&Ms, just go for a natural color option. Yeah, you might have to go to a different grocery store. Yeah, you might have to order it online, but it's so much better than the artificial dye alternative. And you can avoid it. We have avoided colors for forever. We go to birthday parties. Guess what? We can avoid the dyes. It works. If you want to specifically talk, we will, message me. We'll talk about what you can actually do to get dyes out of your life. It is very possible, and we're not suffering. We still get, little treats here and there, but when it comes to sugar, we really try to, majority-wise, get it out of our lives. Same thing with milk and bread. Those both cause inflammation in the body, and especially in the wintertime when our body is already susceptible to other things happening, we're not going to introduce those as well. So we don't do cow's milk, and we don't do bread in large portions. We are not completely gluten-free. We call ourselves gluten-reduced, and whenever possible, we do whole wheats, ancient grains, those sorts of things. So that's important. But then also, of course, we do have some options of what we can do to support the body internally and also via the skin. So first thing that we love, you've heard me talk about it probably a bunch if you've paid attention at all, and that is Ningxia Red. This is a packet. This is a 2-ounce packet. This is about a day's serving, and our whole family gets 2 ounces every single day. If we feel like we're coming down with something or extra grouchy or just kind of like, ugh, we're gonna be drinking more than 2 ounces. It is super important. How does it work? It's not anything like, oh my gosh, what kind of stuff is she putting in her body? No, it is high antioxidant fruits. That's it. And high antioxidant fruits, meaning the place where they are harvested from in China, they are Ningxia wolfberries, which is a goji berry, but, and this is the cool but, They are harvested from China, where the river and the streams that flow and create the water there pick up a lot of minerals. And so it's a really mineral dense soil, which benefits the fruit, which also helps the wolfberry itself. And it's just super high in antioxidants. So what antioxidants do in our body is they're like the superhero that swoops in and saves the day from the free radicals, which are the bad guys. And so that's what this is. So every single day we are supporting our bodies with Ningxia just to keep the cells happy and keep the cells doing what they're supposed to do. Today I actually mixed it in the water bottle with some Amino-Wise, which is an amino acid supplement, like a post during workout supplement. And it's David's water bottle. He very much told me, Mommy, you're using my water bottle. I said, yeah, I gave it to you, so I have every right to use it. But yeah, I mixed it, and so I was drinking it throughout the day. But Ningxia every single day without fail. We also, of course, good hygiene is super important. We use our Thieves soap. We do not use things with fragrance. That is super important. We do not use things with fragrance. Why? Watch the movie Stink if you don't believe me. It's on Netflix, easy to get, and we watched it last night. We had a movie night. It is shocking what fragrance can do to the body. Fragrance is any number of chemicals that cause any number of things. A company basically could put arsenic in the fragrance compound to make whatever fragrance they're trying to create, and then they can put it in whatever product they want. And because it was used in the fragrance, they don't have to disclose what the ingredients are in that fragrance. So if you are using any product whatsoever that has the term fragrance on it, you don't know what you're putting on your skin. You don't. You have no idea what ingredients are going on your skin. I'm just going to let that sink in for a moment. Did it sink in? Good. Don't use fragrance. It's everywhere. And so again, this is where we've really gone into Young Living products because there's no fragrance. We just know there's no fragrance. We've been to the warehouses, we've been to farms, we've talked to the people that develop the products. We know that they are safe. We know they're safe ingredients. We know it is totally transparent, and so that's what we trust. So again, if you have specific questions about products, you're like, what do I do for lotion? Talk to me, and I'm gonna give you some suggestions. Some might be Young Living, maybe some are something else. Chances are they're Young Living though, because I've tried just about everything in that catalog, and I really, really love it. But talk to me and give me the opportunity to help you with that. So again, to stay healthy, we're supporting our body inside. We are making sure that we're not putting bad stuff on the outside. We're making sure that sugar and that other stuff is not there. And then the oil that our family uses is Thieves. If you've not heard of Thieves, we need to talk. Because thieves came from the legend of 15th century, I believe, grave robbers. They were robbing the dead and dying, and they weren't getting caught. It was during the plague. And when they finally got caught, in order to have a lesser death sentence, yes, they were still going to be put to death, but it was going to be a kinder death for them. They had to give up why they weren't getting sick. Well, the story goes, and through research, this has been found, that they had a mixture. They were spice traders, and so they had a mixture of clove and cinnamon and evidence of eucalyptus, rosemary, and lemon. And so that combination is what forms this Thieves Essential Oil blend. So if it was preventing these grave robbers during the plague from getting sick, can we find benefits from that in modern days? Absolutely. So we have a whole entire line of Thieves products, toothpaste and soap and hand sanitizer and the oil. We use it all over the place. Dish detergent, laundry detergent. It is awesome. I know that I saw somewhere that schools were asking parents, please wash your backpacks before you send them in or spray them with Thieves. It wasn't on the letter, But that's what I would say. Spray it with thieves. If you want to wash something, spray it with thieves. Use thieves. Because it is amazing and it smells great, and you're not going to introduce who knows what chemicals to your children. We started using thieves when the kids were about a year old, and we started using it because the cleaner, there's a whole home cleaner. We started using it because I could spray their, I'm about to call it a baby station. It's not a baby station. It is a high chair. That's what it's called. So I would spray the high chair while they were still in it because they were contained, because I had twins, so I needed them to stay in one spot. So I'd spray it while they're there and wipe it down, and then it's all clean. Then I don't have to worry about it again. And guess what? If I then needed to use that same cloth and wipe their hands, I can do that with thieves. I can use the same item that cleans their high chair to clean their body. Can you say that about the store-bought brands? Think about that. So those are some of the tips that we have to stay healthy. Now, I know that there's a lot about elderberry syrup. Guess what? We make our own and we love it. It's awesome. It's great to additionally boost our immune systems. All of this works together. There's evidence about, what is it? I'm going to mispronounce it. Colloidal silver. That helps the immune system. Awesome. Add that in as well. I'm just telling you, we use a whole bunch of different things and it really, really helps. Okay, and then the last thing that I want to talk about is routines. This is super, super important. I'm going to specifically just talk about morning and evening because that's really the big bulk of the time that we're together as a family. So in the morning and in the evening, what I've done is I've taken outside the kids' room and I took a piece of paper and I just drew on there like the things that they have to do. So they have like vitamins that they have to take. I'm going to show you, like, that's what I draw for vitamins. And because I did this with my kids, they're like, oh yeah, that means vitamins. I'm like, I'm glad you think that means vitamins, because they're like, oh yeah, mommy, that's the Mighty Vite, which is like the multivitamin. That's the Mighty Zyme, which is the enzyme that they take to help them digest food. And that's the Mighty Pro, which is the probiotic. They're like, oh yeah, we see it. I'm like, I'm so glad. Okay, and then like I'll draw like that. That means get dressed. And that means turn off your light. And that means feed the dog. But I did this with the kids. So this is their morning routine, and this is outside their door. So they know if I'm like, okay, go do your morning routine, they go and do that. And then on that same piece of paper, oh, sorry, I also have on there, Mom's, you'll get this too, hairbrush. Oh, yeah, that's a hairbrush. Okay. That's a hairbrush. And then I'll have one for the evening as well. And so then those things are slightly different as well because they're not feeding the dogs then. But that's a big part of the routines. We also really try to let them know if something's going to deviate from the routine. If we're not going to be able to read 2 books as a family, then we make sure to let them know so they can have that disappointment in an appropriate manner. It's okay to be disappointed. For the kids, it is okay for our kids to be disappointed, but also we have to understand if they come in expecting something, then we need to give them the kindness to understand why things are going to be different. Hey, you know what? Dinner lasted too long tonight. We were with Grandma and Papa. We're not going to be able to read those books tonight. We're explaining why, and that's why we deviate from the routine. Okay, so that's super important that we make sure that we're clear. Then we let them be part of that routine. We don't just do everything for them, we let them be part of it. And we give them plenty of time so that we're not trying to, come on, let's do this. That's not calming and relaxing. We let them get dressed themselves. We let them pick out their book, and then we give them the time to do that. We also let them set their diffusers. This is something that we've just started doing, and so we don't let them fully do it because they have a big bottle that we pour the water into the diffuser, and their diffusers are the cute owl diffusers. If you've seen them, it's just the top pops off and you just pour the water in, you put your oil in, and then you put the top back on. They already know which buttons to press to turn it on or off, but we set the diffuser, and before we start reading, we turn it on so that they can start smelling those oils, they can start calming down, and scent triggers memory. And that scent that we use at nighttime, we only use at nighttime when they sleep. It's Northern Lights Black Spruce. It is really good, really grounding. And when we smell it as a family, we're like, oh, it's time to go to sleep. So that's kind of the trigger there. And yeah, that's what I want to talk about routines, is that we set a routine. So I kind of gave you some tips. Moms, here's the thing. We also need to stay healthy. We need to stay centered. I just met with an amazing woman today, and she was just like, oh gosh, I'm just dragging today. And so I offered her some peppermint. And I said, here, give me your wrists, because you're going to wash your hands. And I put some on her wrists, and then I had her put it back behind her ears, kind of where you would put perfume. I said, just smell it when you need to. And she was like, oh gosh, it is so energizing. And I'm like, I know, and it's not caffeine, so that's so good. So you got that. I know for me, as soon as the holidays were over and we were back to our normal eating schedule, I started really supporting my gut a lot more. And so Digest became a big part. Digest is a blend that's really good for the digestive system. So I started using that. I started putting lemon in my water again, and that just helps with the detox process. Our bodies are detoxing all the time, and that just keeps it going. So anyway, I explained a lot. I wanted to talk to you guys, moms, because I really think that we need to understand how we can set the tone for having good routines, staying healthy, and having harmonious homes. I really think that we can help be in control. If you already use oils, already are using Young Living, awesome. Please feel free to share this video with whoever you want to share it with as a way to keep those tips going, because we got to help each other out, right? Okay, so I'm going to make this a public video so you can share it however much you want. If you are not using oils yet and you want to try some yourself, let's talk, because I have quite a few things up my sleeve that I can help you get started in the process. I wrote an entire book that helps you get started. Just saying. It is kind of beautiful. And I'm here. This is what I do. And so I walk you through it. So if this is the sort of thing that you're like, oh my gosh, I really like that. I really like that. I'm curious about that. Let's talk. I'm not going to ever pressure people to buy, but I want to have you have an experience. I want you to be able to try it yourself, because that's what I did, and it was fantastic. So anyways, thanks so much. Happy Thursday, everyone, and happy first week back. I'll talk to y'all later. Bye.